Good morning, God bless you. Hope that you have a wonderful day today. You know, we say that hindsight is a wonderful thing. That's not biblical, by the way. Or is it? I mean, yesterday I'm pretty glad that after church we didn't go for a wander around Sandringham Woods as I suggested that we should. Why? Because of the torrential downpours that came out. Would have been a bit of a soggy walk. But we know that Jesus knew everything that was going to happen to him, and still he continued on that path. We read in the book of John 13 and verse 1. Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. During supper, when the devil had already put it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going back to God, rose from supper. He laid aside his outer garments, and taking a towel, tied it around his waist. Jesus then proceeded to wash the disciples' feet, giving an example of how we should serve others. Jesus knew what was going to happen to him. Jesus knew, as he told the disciples on the road from Galilee through to Jerusalem, he knew that he was going to be betrayed. He knew that he was going to suffer at the hand of the Gentiles. He knew that he would be nailed to a cross and there die for the sins of the world. And obedience and faith and love are what caused Jesus to do what he did for us. Jesus didn't have to look too far if he wanted to find out about himself. In Isaiah 53 and verse 1, it says, "Who has believed what he has heard from us? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For he grew up before him like a young plant, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no form or majesty that we should look upon him, and no beauty that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. As of one from whom men hid their faces, he was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace, and by his wounds we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray, we have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. Like a lamb that is led to the slaughter, and like a sheep that before its shearer is silent, so he opened not his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. And as for his generation, who considered that he was cut off from the land of the living, stricken for the transgression of my people. And they made his grave with the wicked, and with a rich man in his death, though he had done no violence, and there was no deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the will of the Lord to crush him. He has put him to grief. When his soul makes an offering for guilt, he shall see his offspring, he shall prolong his days, and the will of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Out of the anguish of his soul he shall see and be satisfied. By his knowledge shall the righteous one, my servant, make many to be accounted righteous, and he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore I will divide a portion with the many, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he poured out his soul to death, and was numbered with the transgressors. Yet he bore the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors." I'm sure I know, Jesus knew what he was doing, and he would have done it again and again and again. Because of our sin, our transgressions, the word calls them, because of the stuff we have done wrong against God, he paid the price for us and set us free from the burden of sin, from the wrath of God, and has given us eternal life. You know, hindsight is a wonderful thing, but let us be a people of faith who walk with faith in obedience to God, despite what the future may bring, because we trust in him and our hope is in him. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful day today.